let's move on to tips and markups. A tip or gratuity is a small amount of money in return for a service. The total price is the regular price of the service plus the tip. So tips and gratuity and total price. A tip is that little extra amount that you give as a thank you to a waiter or a waitress or somebody who does something for you that goes above and beyond. A store sells items for more than it pays for those items. The amount of increase is called a markup. So stores, in order to make money, they have to sell the products that they have for more than what they pay for them. So they buy them from a factory or a company who makes those products, and they pay them a certain amount of money. And then when they put them on the shelves, they mark that price up. They add to it so that you have to pay more than they did. That way, they will make some money. The selling price is the amount the customer pays for an item. So after we mark up the price as the store, you come in and you buy it for more, and that is the selling price. A customer wants to tip 15% on a restaurant bill that is $35. What will be the total bill with tip? Now, I'm going to change this problem up a little bit. Even though it asks for the total bill, we're going to just find the tip. And the reason I'm going to do that is because when you go into a restaurant, you don't have to find the total bill at first. You have to find that tip on its own because that's what you're going to pay extra. The computer's not going to tell you what to pay. You're going to have to figure that out. So we're going to do this problem instead of like the last one where we did it all, get a total cost all in one multiplication problem. We're actually going to find the tip first, and then we're going to add it, kind of like the kayak problem we did before. A customer wants to tip 15%. So there's our percentage rate. If we're using the equation form, we know that we need to turn that into a decimal, 0.15. And the restaurant bill was $35. So that's our whole amount. So we're going to multiply those two things together to get my tip. So I take 0.15 and I multiply it times 35, and that gives me 5.25. That is a tip of $5.25. To find the total, I'm going to take my $35 and I'm going to add the $5.25. Notice that I'm lining up the decimal points. $35 would have to have 2 zeros on the end of it. So make sure you're adding things correctly. This gives us a total cost of $40.25. So the cost of the meal was $35. The tip was $5.25. The total cost was $40.25. So cost, tip, total. And that's what you would do in a restaurant to get your tip and total. And again, you could do this with a proportion, but it would require you to do a proportion like this. You would do your part, which is your tip we're looking for, over your whole, which is 35. Your percentage for the tip is 15, which you put over 100. You cross multiply, and you get 100t is equal to 35 times 15. You divide both sides by 100. See if I can do this one mentally. 5 goes into 100 20 times, and into 35 7 times. 5 goes into 20 4 times, and into 15 3 times. And that gives me 3 times 7, which is 21, divided by 4. And I just wrote 24 instead of 21 divided by 4. And that gives me $5.25, or 5 1/4. But then again, I still have to take that tip and add it to the $35 cost of the meal. So 35 plus 5.25, my tip, gives me $40.25, my total, which is what they asked for in this problem. So with an equation, with a proportion, take a look at example 3. It says a haircut costs $20. Sales tax is 4.75%. Is $25 sufficient to cover the haircut with tax and a 15% tip? Okay, so the cost is $20. Sales tax is 4.75%. Remember, that is a rate. That is not the actual sales tax. It's not money. 15% is going to be our tip. That's also a rate. We've got 2 rates. And they want to know, is $25 enough? The word sufficient means enough. So what am I going to have to do here? I got more than 1%. Since we want to know what the total cost is to determine whether or not $25 is enough, we're going to have to take our percentage rate for our sales tax, our percentage rate for our tip, and 100% to get the percentage of the cost and add them together. I always like to go large to small, so I'm going to do 100 plus 15 plus 4.75. When I add those things up, I get 119.75%. I'm going to then need to turn that into a decimal by moving my decimal point 2 places to the left, not the right. Be careful here because it could go either direction, right? We're looking for a smaller number, not a bigger number. So 1.1975 is the decimal form of the percent I need to use in this problem. So to find the total, we're going to take that decimal form of our percent, 1.1975, and we're going to multiply it by the cost of $20. And when we do that, we're going to get a total of $23.95. So, to answer the question, yes, $25 is enough. How would I do this with a proportion? I would take my capital T for total to be my part. $20 is my whole. I'm going to still add 100 plus 15 plus 4.75 to get my percentage of 119.75 on top, which goes over 100. We're going to cross multiply. So I would get 100t is equal to 20 times 119.75. I'm going to divide both sides by 100. And that's going to be 119.75 divided by 5. And when you put that into your handy dandy calculator, do it now, you should have gotten $23.95, the same answer. So that should prepare you to complete letters B and C. But we are going to go ahead and move on to the final example, example number 4. A store pays $56 for a GPS navigation system. The markup is 25%. Find the selling price. So again, we're looking for the selling price, so we're looking for a total here. The total percentage is going to be the markup percent of 25% plus 100%. So the total percent will be 100 plus 25, or 125% of the original cost. So the store pays $56. That's going to be my whole amount, which I'm going to multiply times my percentage, which again, I have to turn into a decimal. So I move that decimal point back 2 places to the left and I get 1.25, which I will multiply times the cost that they paid, which is 56. Pull out the handy dandy calculator. And you should find that the total cost you would pay is $70. How would that look? As a proportion, we would want total cost over the $56 that the store paid. You would add your percentages, 100 plus 25, which is 125, which you would write over 100. You cross multiply. 100t is equal to 56 times 125. You divide both sides by 100. 25 goes into 100 4 times, and 25 goes into 125 5 times. 56 divided by 4 is 14, and 14 times 5 is $70. Our total cost. That brings you up to the final letter problem, letter D, here just below this example. So please at this time, go take care of those letter problems. They're all here in the video, so you do not need to log into your textbook. And we will come back together at the end of class to go over them.